Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today is January 16th, 2011. I am Silverfish, and you're watching Overgrowth Weekly number 5. So today on the agenda there is some pretty cool stuff. So let's just get right into it. And first off, we're going to take a look at this week's alpha and what's new with that. So let's jump to the changelog here. So I'm just going to go through the changelog. As you can see, there's a video here as well. You can watch that after this weekly if you want to. It's on the Wolfire blog, of course, like all the other blog posts. So I'm just going to go through the list and say a few things about each item and perhaps give you some insight or whatever. I don't know. I hope you'll enjoy it at least. So first off, we have new sounds for weapon impacts and weapon air movement. That's actually pretty cool, especially the air movement one, considering in most games when you hit the attack button, your character attacks and then there is a swoosh sound when you attack. But in this game, in Overgrowth, instead they will have, of course, a much better solution, like for everything else as well. Where the weapons will always have a swoosh sound, and depending on how fast it moves, it will just get louder, basically. So this allows for the weapon to make sounds if you yourself is holding the weapon and jumping quickly through the air or throwing the weapon or whatever. It will always sound like seamless. There will be no seams between no sound and whatever. You know what I'm saying. So that's actually pretty cool. And material sliding sounds. Actually, let's take a look at this in the game soon. I'm going to start up the game meanwhile. So let me start up the game. I should have done this before, but I ran out of time a little bit. So anyways, while this starts up, let's go through the next item. Material sliding sound says that, and that is when you're landing on the ground in Overgrowth, you often slide a little bit even though your legs aren't moving, so they added a sliding sound for that. And Milky Way sky, it's a starry sky in that you can use in your levels if you want to. I'm pretty sure they're using that for the painted desert level even, that I'm firing up right now. And a low light vision shader. This is also in the map I'm opening up right now. I'll show you to it actually. So yeah, it should be cool. Levels can have specific post shaders. And that means that you can, for example, if you're making a desert level, that's the same thing, by the way. This added low light vision shader, it's basically the same thing. It's utilizing this feature that enables you to have specific post shaders for levels. And this enables you, for example, if you're making a desert level, you can make it seem hotter than you can make it look without any special effects. So this allows you to do all sorts of special effects. I think you can do fog with this, for example, and like almost anything you can think of. You can make Bloom HDR, all sorts of cool stuff with this to give a level a specific mood. So if you wanted to be desaturated or saturated, you can do that and so on. So it should be pretty flexible and useful to the mappers. Let's see how it's starting up here. Oh yeah, here we have it running. Here you can see it's a bit blurry, I suppose. And as you can see, it's night. He's using the night sky in this level as well. I'm just going to spawn Turner here. So here we have the new night sky. We have the shader as well that makes everything a little bit blurry. I don't know if you remove that. No, it seems that the edges, the hard edges of the objects, I showed this in the last Overgrowth Weekly. It's probably not very visible on the stream but I can see it here, I can assure you, that the sharp edges are retained, but anything that is that has a small difference between it, I suppose, so where there are small differences, that would kind of blur together while it still retains the sharp edges. So that's that. Now let's take a look at the swooshy weapons. So I go back out into edit mode, I add an object right there, poof, and then let's find some weapon that can make a swoosh sound. Let's take the dog sword. And pick that up. I don't know how evident it will be, since, of course, it's supposed to be a pretty subtle. Where did that sword go? Sword! I threw it away, that's nice. Anyways, I can respawn it here. There we go again. Let's try again. Oops, it's kind of hard to see with this shader, but that's how it's supposed to be. I don't know if you heard that, but there was an apparent swoosh sound. Anyways, David shows this much better in his video, with a better sound, better video quality, etc. So it should be easier if you watch the blog post about this. But yeah, let's go on in the list and take a look at the next points in the list. So we have script control of Ragdoll animation. Actually, this means that you can now make Ragdolls animate, basically. So it's kind of weird. I think I'm going to show that to you later as well. So with this, you can make, when the character turns into Ragdoll, you can make him play or try to play a specific animation. So you can make him try to play a walking animation while he's in Ragdoll mode. So actually, let's not do that. I don't want to stall this. Let's just keep on moving. He shows this off in this video as well. So take a look at that afterwards, and you'll see it. It's pretty cool, actually. I have done it for my game. I don't know. Maybe I have it activated. No, I haven't. Never mind then. Let's just move on. Blender weapon animation exports only if weapon layer is visible. That's modeler stuff, not too important or interesting. Saving and loading item objects. This allows you to save the weapon. So if you spawn a weapon in a level and save it, you can, and you load the level, the weapon will be there. So that's pretty awesome. New block sound and some new hit sounds. That's always very nice. Improving these sounds further. The sounds in Overgrowth are already very good, so it's good to see that they're adding more to that. And fixed crash with non-tri-mesh swept collisions. That's... I have no idea what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's something awesome that didn't work, so they fixed it. Fixed horizon band color problem, also a problem. Fix new overgrowth icon. I don't see this icon, maybe because I updated from the older version. Maybe if I install it with the new version I will see it. And more on updating later, by the way. But I can't see this icon right now. But actually I will show you a new overgrowth icon. I guess it's that one they're talking about right here. So anyways, simplified spawner code. That's good for coders, I suppose, but doesn't do much difference for us mortals, so to speak. And that's this week's Overgrowth Alpha changelog. So with that out of the way, let's go on to the next item on the list, and that is Aubrey's art overview for week 113. And this is a video. Aubrey, I don't know if you watched the previous Overgrowth Weekly, but I talked about this back then as well. There is the graphical artist, the guy who makes all the concept art and all the models and all the levels and all the textures for the game. He has started making weekly videos where he takes a look at how Overgrowth looks and you know, comments on it, because he made it, so he has a few things to say about it and why he did certain decisions and so on and so forth. So I'm just going to show you that video and shut up for a little while. So yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I'll be back in about 3 minutes, I think. So, see you in a while.
This is Aubrey with Wolfire Games, and this is week 113 Art Asset Overview. This week we're going to look at some bags. 2 bag assets and a little armor plate. You can see these on the character over here. As well as some of the newer clothes. This is also the new rabbit model, you can tell because he has 4 toes. I think that these bags and equipment should look really cool in the game. During a fight, they might bob around or break off. As you can see, the rabbits are really into adding stitching to all of their equipment. That's one of their main visual motifs. I think that they just like the way that looks. Last week I showed off the Cat City assets, and a lot of people commented that it looked kind of like Assassin's Creed. And I think that the current assets do kind of look like that, but I have some other ideas, and I wanted to talk a little bit about them. The cats tend to wear very flamboyant colors and patterns because the colors and patterns represent their holdings and retainers. Similarly, the pennants and colors that they paint on buildings correspond to the colors that an individual cat might wear. So it's kind of marking his territory. In addition to showing those ideas off better in the actual game, I wanted to create a more unique visual identity for the cats. So I started looking at more historical images and ruins, and I listened to some comments and started coming up with this concept here, based kind of on the Babylonians, but also a little bit on Asian cultures. The main thing that was important to me was to bring a consistent color theme together for the cats in their buildings, especially these ones that live out in the desert. One of the important parts of this are these blue tile roofs. I'd been meaning to replace the roofs for a while, and so that was one of the first things that I wanted to work on this week. So here's the asset for the roof in game. It's the top, and it's flipped over there so you can see what the bottom of it looks like. Here is it in action, replacing the old roofs that I was showing off last week. This asset is actually in 2 parts. I have one part for the trim, which you can see here, and another part for the face. The trim asset can also double to form the peak of a roof. Next week I plan to show off a lot more new assets for the Cat City. Don't forget you can pre-order at wolfire.com/preorder. Thanks.
Oh, I just sat there and talked for a while with the mic off. Well, it's... That's awesome. Yeah, so I was saying to myself that it's a very good initiative by Orbit to do these weekly videos, in my opinion, because it gives us a bit of insight into his thought process behind the objects, and also we of course get to see the objects before they are released. So I really appreciate these videos a lot, personally. And I'm just going to move on to the next item on the agenda, and that is the auto updater. And you might have known, you know this already if you watched the previous Overgrowth Weekly, but anyways, a very long time ago, like half a year or something, they announced that they were going to make an auto updater for the game, but it never really happened. But now they have, Wolfire, that is, have taken, taken it into their hands to actually do it this time. So they have come quite far on making the updater, and they have posted a test, I guess, on the special secret pre-order forums. And here is a screenshot of how that looks. It actually works on my computer, but for some reason this window here won't show up in the stream. And that kind of sucks, but you can kind of see how it works here anyways. It's a standalone application right now, but they plan on implementing it into the game at a later stage. And what more is there to say about it? Yeah, it actually kind of works now. It can download stuff and unzip it, but it doesn't put it in the right place, I think. So hopefully very soon we will have an auto updater to all the special pre-order guys who'll have like caps on their downloads, yeah, or slow internet connections or whatever. So that should be really good for everyone, so everyone can enjoy the alpha, no matter how slow your internet is. And next item on the agenda is Markuss custom objects. He posted a new video where he shows off some of the custom collision stuff he's got going on. So let's take a look at that. This is a video as well, so but I will probably commenting on this one because there is no one talking in this video. So yeah, let's take a look at this. Yeah, so in this video he's showing off the that you can have separate collision objects for objects. So traditionally, before this was possible, having an object look like this would make it impossible to wall run up because it's very uneven, and this wall as well. But as you can see, he's writing it in text as well. He just have cubes for the collision here, so that enables him to much easier move around and actually use the objects in the game. And they also updated his cherry blossom trees there, and they are looking better than before, I suppose. Good as ever, so that's awesome. Also note how the branches are slightly moving in the wind. That's very important to me. Small things like that make a game. And another thing he has added is his own tab there, as you can see, and here are all his objects. It's a load of objects. Yeah, he brings as many gifts from old China, so that's pretty cool. These are all really high quality, and they're all except for one of the models are made by him as well, so it's a lot of work he put into this. Except for that bottom model you saw there. That's the only one he haven't made himself. And that's that video. So when we're talking about custom objects and stuff like that, I was talking to, other people were talking to Jeff about custom objects in the object browser, and I asked him about something regarding making it easier to add objects to the object browser, so you don't have to click the browse for objects button and find objects that way, because it's kind of annoying to me. And he mentioned that in the future they might do it so that when you're mapping for Overgrowth, it will automatically connect to an online server, and so you won't be using the objects straight from your computer, but it will connect to an online server, and you will have a preview of every item like you have in your normal browser, and then when you select one of the items, it will download it to your computer, and so you can use it. So that's actually a pretty cool thing to think about, to have an almost infinite source of custom objects, I suppose, searchable and all that kind of sweet stuff. So if we're lucky, we'll have something like that in the finished game. I, for one, would be very happy to have something like that, but yeah, I guess we'll see. But considering Wolfire is Wolfire, I'd say the chances of us seeing something like that are pretty big. So let's move on to the next item on the list, and that is the tweets and news segment. And first off, we have the tweet about partial animations. And it's from David. He says he's working on partial animations, so different parts of the body can be doing different animations at the same time. So that's a pretty cool feature. A feature that is pretty often seen in, for example, first-person shooter games or stuff like that, but in fighting games it's a bit different, because you can most often just stand still and do an attack. There's really no reason for you to be able to do several animations at once. But this will allow them to make it so that you can, for example, run and throw a knife at the same time, because you can do the running animation and the throwing knife animation at the same time. Or run and hit stuff, and all sorts of epic stuff. So I'm looking forward to this, and it's going to make their animation system feel much smoother, even more smooth than it does now, because it's very good as it is right now. So that should be pretty awesome. Next, there is another tweet about Ragdoll mini animations, where he says he's adding a lot of Ragdoll mini animations, such as fetal position, clutching face, protecting head, writhing around. This should be pretty nice. It's that people call euphoria stuff, I guess, but it isn't really an AI controlling it, I guess. I don't know. It's that I talked before, that you can have an animation play while a character is in Ragdoll mode. So when someone is hit in the face and they fall over, instead of just becoming like a normal Ragdoll, they will, try to touch their face, because it obviously hurts. And if they're hit in the stomach, they will like try to protect their stomach when they're falling over and stuff like that. So that should add a lot of, make the game feel much more brutal, I suppose. So I'm looking forward to these new animations as well, and seeing them used in the combat. It should be awesome, as always. Yeah, and I mentioned before the online item browser. I just thought it was appropriate to mention up there instead. And then we have revealing the new OG icon draft. So this is actually the new Overgrowth icon that is currently being used. And yeah, so let's just take a look at it, I suppose. Got a huge picture here of it. And there you have it. So if you have any comments on that, yeah, chat about it in the chat, I suppose, if you're watching this live. Let me put a link to that, actually. I saved the link to that. So let me put a link to that so you can watch it yourself in its full glory. Because it's not as good at watching it on a freaking stream as it is watching it, you know, on your own computer. So let's paste that right there. So there you have the link to that picture. You can take a look. Personally, I really like this new icon. It's better than the previous icon that pretty much looked like crap, honestly. No offense, Aubrey. I'm sure you made this one as well, so yeah, well done. Yeah, all around, very nice work. Some people were thinking that the old icons looked like a 2, like the Roman 2, like 2 eyes. Not 2 eyes that you look with, the 2 eyes that are in words. Yeah. But by making it slightly leaning like that, it looks more like a Roman 2 and like an O in my opinion. So that should be pretty cool. It's actually used for the new auto updater, and I'm sure they will be using it for a while. But it's still just a draft, I suppose. So the final icon will probably look different. And that's actually everything on the agenda for this week. So I'd like to thank you a whole lot for watching, of course, and you can come back next week at the same time at 9 on Sundays, and that's Central European time. There will be a countdown, there will be a topic on the Wolfire forums, on the Wolfire subforums, on the Wolfire forums. And as you can see right here, I have a few ways that you can continue to follow it as well. So if you're following any of these, either the YouTube channel or the Steam community group, you will be notified when the stream is scheduled, and you'll be able to, yeah, watch my Overgrowth tutorials on the YouTube channel and all sorts of other cool stuff on the Steam community channel. So that's youtube.com/sftovergrowth, and the Steam community group is steamcommunity.com/groups/sftut. And I also have a Twitter now that I haven't really started using it, honestly, because I don't have a lot to tweet about. I just tweet about these tutorials basically, and live streams. And my Twitter is, actually I should look it up just to be sure. I didn't have time to add that to the list, but I'm pretty sure it's twitter.com/silverfisk. I will actually post that in the chat as well. So that's twitter.com/silverfisk, and let's add an http:// there as well. So there you have the link to the Twitter, so follow that. And as I said, there will be another Overgrowth Weekly next week, so I hope you tune into that. Thanks a whole lot for watching, and have an amazing day. Silverfish signing out.